Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be testing out the 3 soaps. So this is like a 3 pH system. If you're not familiar with a 3 pH system, I talked about it quite a bit when we did the video on Labocosmetica. So basically what you're doing is you're using an alkaline wash, an acidic wash, and a neutral wash. So the alkaline wash, from what I remember, breaks up dirts and clays, organic compounds. The acidic wash does mineral content, like hard water spots and stuff like that. And then the pH neutral, that's your slickness for your mid or your sponge. So we're going to be using hard wash. That's a high pH soap from Detailco. It's diluted 1 to 10 in a foam cannon, so I got 50 milliliters in here. We're going to go to 500 with water, just a little under 1 to 10, but very close. This one here is acid wash, again 50 milliliters. I'm lucky enough to have 3 foam cannons. I realize that not a lot of people are, but you know, if you only have 1 foam cannon, buy one of these. This is like a soap rinse or something like that, like $10 on Amazon, 20 bucks maybe at most, or actually works pretty well. This is the MJJC Foam Cannon S, that works well. So that's kind of cool. The liquid color matches the bottle color. So this one's red, this one's blue, this one's clear. So I've got 50 ml of water, or 50 ml of soap in each bottle. We're gonna fill them up to the 500 line with water. Be right back. Ever have one of those days where you just get nothing done? Well, that's today for me. So I have 4 videos for 4 days. Today's Thursday. This will be Friday's video. And today we're going to be trying out 3 pH, the Detailco way. So first off, we're doing alkaline. Not sure why, mostly because that's how Labocosmetica does it, and I wanted to be fair. So MJJC Foam Cannon S, 10 to 1. All right, we're gonna let this dwell for a couple minutes, 3 to 5. Watch it run, watch the colors come off. This should break down dirt and organic materials. Dirt, clay, bugs, that kind of stuff should come off with the alkaline wash. After this, we're gonna rinse. We're gonna go to the acid wash, and the acid wash is gonna take care of hard water spots and those types of contaminants like mineral contaminants. So what we should see after we rinse these both off and clean everything off is that the coating starts to come back and starts to be hydrophobic again. And the last wash is going to be a neutral wash. That's with agitation. 90% of the stuff should be gone, and the agitation should just be a mostly clean sponge on a mostly clean car. This one doesn't smell too bad. It's not strong when you're spraying it. You can't really notice it, but I don't know. It's kind of like a cherry cola or the neutral soap. Maybe like a blueberry, something like that. Maybe I'm just saying that because the bottle's blue. Eddie will comment, I'm sure, and tell me what it's supposed to smell like. This one smells like awful. Acid wash. All right, so we're a couple minutes in. You can see that lots of the panel is cleaned off. And like I said, you know, there was dirt all over the back of this. We can see that a lot of that's gone. It's being broken down. It's running down here. We've got colors in the foam here, these foam drops. I always like that, the yellow pools, the brown pools of foam. That's always cool. Watching the bugs melt away. So let's rinse this off. And then we're gonna do the low pH, the acid. All the dirt's gone. I mean, it's already really clean. We're gonna do the acid wash. This should bring back some of the hydrophobics and unclog the coating. Same thing, gonna foam it 1 to 10. This is soap rinse candle. We're gonna let this dwell for a couple more minutes. We're gonna rinse this off. And then next we're going to use the pH neutral soap, and that we're gonna do a physical touch wash with. At the end, we're gonna be using this, which is Infinity. This is the drying aid sealant, ceramic sealant. But this time I have it mixed 3 to 1 with water. So 3 parts water, 1 part of Infinity. And I'm told that this is going to be a lot more like a wet coat or a drying aid, like a traditional drying aid, and less like it's not drying immediately when it hits the surface the way that it was when I was doing it on the Mercedes the other day. You don't need to spray it on the towel anymore, you can spray it on the panel. So we're gonna try that out. I think that I turned a couple people off when I said you gotta spray the towel. It wasn't bad, the slickness and gloss is actually really good. It's just a different way of applying it to what we're used to. Maybe it's a little bit less forgiving. So we're gonna rinse this off. Again, this is the low pH, the acid. The high pH actually did such a good job, the low pH didn't really stick. There are a couple spots where you could see, like these, where it's running down. There were some contaminants that are being broken down, these runs here. But pH neutral soap, Rio's foam cannon. So this is nice and thick. Like I said, it's got a great scent. I want to call it blueberry. I don't know if that's because the bottle's blue or because it actually smells that way. It's definitely fruity. I like the neutral soap. It smells good. It's got good slickness, good foaming. You don't use a lot of it, which is nice. I diluted it 1 to 10 in my foam cannon. 50 milliliters of soap. Washed this whole SUV. And there are a couple panels I hit twice just because I had more in the bottle. So that's really nice. Kind of like Armor. Armor soap is real thick as well. GSF, I normally do like 150 in a whole full foam cannon, so it's like 75 in a 500. Yeah, it feels good. It's it loads up your mitt, makes your mitt nice and slippery. I could probably dilute it a little bit more, honestly. We'll see what the hydrophobics are like when we're done, but yeah, it's definitely, this is another one. It's really good. So let's get this rinsed off, and then we'll try out the drying aid. Check out the hydrophobics, the beading. This is Infinity 1 to 3 with water. It's actually pretty impressive when you use it on a wet surface. I use these gauntlets all the time. It's 16 by 27. It's the middle size gauntlet. It's a Rag Company towel. And that last one I was just using, it almost felt like it was thirstier. Like, you can see when you're using this wet, you don't really have streaks. Even when you're applying way too much product, as long as it has the water, I don't know. It's like it's thirsty. As long as you have the water though, then you don't get the streaks, you don't get the white. Yeah, it's good. I honestly wasn't crazy about it after the first wash when I did the rinseless. It's like, well, it's okay. It's like Amplify, kind of. Reminded me of Amplify, which I like OG Drying Aid better than Amplify. If you followed me for a while, you know that I use that normally on my regular washes. Yeah, 3-to-1 you could use it as a drying aid too. You get a little bit of streak, but you can buff it off as long as you're fast with it. But if you spray it on something that's wet, it's just a non-issue. It's interesting. It's almost like Geon Wet Coat. It's another one that's pretty unforgiving on dry surfaces, but you spray it on something wet, it works really well. All right. This worked really, really well. Let's go inside. You can talk in there, but shout out to the tire dressing. That looks great. That doesn't dilute it. 1 to 3. Just do it. So we start off with a dirty car, mostly dirt and bugs. Not really any like water spots or minerals, anything like that on it, because it hasn't rained here in 2 months. So first thing, we foamed hard wash. Hard wash is the alkaline high pH soap. Use that in an MJJC foam cannon, diluted 1 to 10. So I had 50 ml of this. I had about 450 water, so 500 total. So it's like a 1 to 9. And foamed it on, let it dwell for 3 to 5 minutes, rinsed it off. And what I found was almost all of the dirt was gone, all of the bugs were gone. Everything looked pretty clean. The coating wasn't really back. The coating was still clogged up. There weren't really any hydrophobics. As soon as I started spraying the low pH, the acid wash on it, that was when I started seeing the coating come back to life, and it even started rejecting the soap. We used a soap rinse cannon for that. Again, 1 to 10 or 1 to 9, 50 ml of this with 450 of water. Didn't get as good of foam out of the low pH soap as we got out of the high pH. That could be the soap rinse cannon. This is the cheapest cannon that I have. It's like a $20 cannon. It works well for like wheel cleaners and stuff like that. Let that dwell for 3 to 5 minutes, rinsed it off. Last, we did a neutral soap, which is the contact wash. Again, we diluted 1 to 10 or 50 ml of soap to about 500 ml total inside my Griot's Boss foam cannon. That's the best foam cannon, honestly. Like, it just is. So if you're looking to buy one, you're going to spend 80 to 100 bucks. Buy the Griot's, just because it has the all stainless head, and because when you turn it upside down, it doesn't leak all over your arm or your counter or whatever. Because these things let air in, but don't let product out. Once we foam that on, we use the Microfiber Madness in Deli Pad to do our contact wash. I found that it like loaded up the Deli Pad. Like, it was very, very slick, very, very thick. I probably could have diluted a little bit further, honestly. But it worked really, really well. And when we were done, the car was really clean. The whole point of the 3 pH system is to make it so that your contact wash, you're not really doing a lot of work. And that's ultimately what it did. The contact wash is almost just for show at that point. It's like, oh, I do want to touch this anyway. I probably could have foamed the high pH, rinsed it off, foamed the low pH, rinsed it off, and then air dried it and called it a day. But we ended up using a drying aid and drying it off with a towel. So we have Infinity, which is the ceramic sealant. Now, when I did this full strength on the Mercedes last week, check out the rinseless wash, what I found was that it was kind of streaky unless I sprayed it on a rag, and that's because the car was mostly dry at that point. You know, I already dried the car off and I was using it kind of like a drying aid, like a gloss amplifier, the same way that I'd use like OG drying aid, which is somewhere over there. Today, I diluted it 1 to 3, which is something that I've seen in a couple of the comments and YouTube videos. It might even been on my Nemesis video. So I did 1 to 3, 50 ml of this with 150 of water. I put it in this Quasar bottle because I haven't used the Quasar bottles yet. I like that. It actually worked pretty well. Sprayed that on, dried it off. I don't really know how to explain it. The slickness is there, the gloss is there, but it almost made the rags thirstier, if that makes sense. And I don't really know how to explain that. Like, the rag was really wet and the car was drier than you would expect it to be when you pull the rag off. Like, I need to mess around with this a little bit more and play around with some dilutions and just see like what's the magic number with it. But I like it a lot better today than I did in my Nemesis video, just being honest. I think that it actually worked really, really well. I don't have any streaks. I wasn't fighting with it at all. It worked well. You could see the car came out really nice and clean. You could see the gloss and you know, in the end of the video there where I was on the side of it with the camera. It was a great experience. The high pH soap and the neutral soap both have great scents. The low pH soap smells like crap. Try not to smell that one if you can avoid it. I mean, it's an acid wash, right? So it smells like an iron remover. Like, it's just, But the other two smell good. I want to say this is like I don't know, like a cherry or like something like that. And this is like a blueberry. I'm guessing, you know, because it's red and blue, that's why I'm saying that. But they just smell fruity. They smell good. Yeah, they both worked really, really well. So fairly happy with that. The tire dressing held up really well. So, you know, I applied the tire dressing when I was testing that out 2 or 3 days ago. One of my tires had it full strength. The other one had it diluted 1 to 3 inside the spray bottle. And so that was the front tire, which has the matte finish. It just looks significantly better than the back tire. But they both held up really, really well, even with the alkaline and the low pH and the neutral soap, and I hit it with a wheel cleaner, you know, in between things. Like, it's all good. So that actually has quite a bit of durability and works really well. So we'll see how long that stays and how it attracts dirt and, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm guessing the back tire is going to attract dirt and the front tire is going to be perfectly fine because the back one is glossier, which makes me think it's oilier. I'll have to check out the pricing compared to like Labro. You know, if they're the same money, I'd probably pick the detailco because it smells better. Whichever one is cheaper is probably the better buy. But the labels are definitely more clear on these. Dilute 1 to 10 in your foam can and spray it on. Like, it's very simple, where Labro has like different dilutions for different situations, and they've got it in 3 different languages, and there's like 14 paragraphs on the back of the bottle and stuff. And I'm not, you know, I actually like the Labro products. They work really, really well. Their labeling and instructions leave a little bit to be desired. Their website is a lot clearer than their bottles are, just being honest. If you're interested in a 3 pH system or even a 2 pH system, try this out. You know, I probably could have just done the high and then the low and hit it with a mitt on the low and rinsed it off and been done, and that would have been perfectly fine. I didn't need the third pass. I barely needed a second pass. I probably could have done the high and rinsed it off and then done a contact wash too. So like, either way, I could have made this happen with 2 products. And, you know, maybe a 3 pH is designed to make it so that you buy more soap. I really don't think so, though. I think it's about touching the car less, which is interesting because there's a product called Touchless, and that's what it's supposed to do, right? Make it so that you touch the car less. And Built Handler Touchless works really, really well. So, you know, shout out to them, honorable mention. They make a great product, and I'd recommend trying that too if you haven't tried it. Works really well for like a foam on, rinse off kind of situation. The entire detailco line has been real solid. The interior cleaner, the interior sealants, the soaps, the rinseless was awesome. The Infinity was so-so until today. I really like it actually today. I think that it's grown on me today. And then you know, obviously the tire dressing was great. The wheel cleaner, iron remover worked well. The only thing I really have left is the compound and the panel prep. I've messed around with the panel prep off camera as a window cleaner. It worked really well for that. So the compound and the panel prep I'll get to work on this weekend. So today's Thursday, this is Friday's video. I've got a car coming Friday, a Dodge Ram pickup truck that I'm going to be detailing over the weekend, and I'll get to mess around with some of these products on that. So we'll try out the detailco compound, we'll try out the 5-inch pads, we'll try out some of pan stuff maybe. Like, we'll get into some more of this. 13 products in their line. I've tried 11 of them. I didn't hate a single one. And they have some that are really good, that are, you know, kind of equal to the best, or maybe in some cases are the best. You know, Nemesis is actually a really, really good rinseless for a car that's dirty, where I think a lot of the rinselesses are more designed for cars that are clean, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong in that. It's just kind of a feeling that I get in using them, and I don't really know why. That's all for today. This video is already too long, so you know, hope you're having a good Friday, hope you're having a good weekend. There'll be a video tomorrow, definitely, because I've got all day to make it, on probably the compound and the panel prep. Although I do have another couple Labro videos to drop, so I'll probably release a couple of those here and there as well. And we'll see what challenges I get into on this pickup truck, and you know, maybe I'll get to use a couple different products there. I do have some more stuff from detailco coming, well, from Thor coming. I have a couple of the Maniac line pieces that I was missing. I have most of the Maniac line. I was missing like 2 bottles. I have the last bottle from Clean by Pan. There's the spray sealant that I was missing. I also have a bottle of Thick, which is the ceramic coating from detailco. They're heavier ceramic coating. And then I have another one of the blue Nemesis sponges coming. I ordered another one because I really liked it. And they're talking about changing it slightly, and like I really like it as it is, so I don't want them to change it necessarily. But I like to stock up on things. But then they'll probably release something else and it'll be even better, and then I'll be like, oh shoot, now I've got a bunch of these old ones that I have to deal with. But that's just kind of how it is. Once the rags come out, I'll get those too. Still loving the bio bombs. I've got a Bevy Grape, and I've got a Fresh AF. They're both doing really well. And then I've got some other things to try out. Zvizzer, the whole line of Zvizzer. The Dodge Ram will be big enough that I'll be able to try out that line too. And then, I don't know, cabinet full of other stuff. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.